friends, and welcome to another adventure with fantastic first grade frogs. Today, first grade frogs are in the garden, and we're going to look at all the things that you can do in a garden. We're going to start, though, with a book that you might kind of recognize. It's called A Seed is Sleepy. The author's name is Diana Hutz Aston, and the illustrator's name is Sylvia Long. And this book is kind of like our book that we read when we got the chicks. Remember the egg book? How an egg is quiet? Well, this book is by the same authors, and so it's called A Seed is Sleepy. There's some seeds. And here's a lot of different seeds. Wow. Seeds of different sizes and shapes and colors. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, A Seed is Sleepy by Diana Hutz Aston. Illustrated by Sylvia Long. A seed is sleepy. It lies there tucked inside its flower, on its cone, or beneath the soil. Snug, still. This is a sunflower, and lots of sunflower seeds, and sunflower seeds that have fallen into the soil. A seed is secretive. It does not reveal itself too quickly. It says most seeds sleep through the season or two, waiting for the warmer temperatures of spring, but some take their time. 10 years might pass before the bright red-orange seed of the Texas mountain laurel shows its purple blooms. Wow. A seed is fruitful. 90% of the plants on Earth are flowering plants. Flowering plants produce fruits of all shapes and textures that keep the seeds cozy until they have found the right place to grow. So these are different seeds that are inside of fruits. Oops. Seeds come in many sizes. The orchid seed is the smallest of all. There might be 1 million seeds in one pod. The seed of a Coco de Mer palm is the largest. It can weigh up to 60 pounds. Wow, so these little seeds are small, and this one is enormous. Can you imagine? 60 pounds? That's a big seed. A seed is adventurous. It must strike out on its own in search of a less crowded place to put down roots. A parachute of fine silky hairs can take a dandelion seed 100 miles from its parent plant. So these are different kinds of seeds that will fly away. Dandelion seeds, milkweed seeds, Japanese maple seeds that fly in the wind to different places. Drift seeds float on ocean currents from one shore to another. They have enough air inside to help them float, and their thick protective shells keep out seawater. Wow! Look at all those different seeds. So some seeds float on air, and some seeds float in water. A seed is inventive. To find a spot to grow, a seed might leap from its pod or cling to a child's shoestring, or tumble through a bear's belly. A seed hopes to land where there is plenty of sunlight and water. I remember having seeds stuck to my shoestrings when I was in first grade. I would get them all over the place, and then I'd have to pick them off when I got home. And that's, of course, just the seeds of a plant trying to travel to another place. They want to get to a place where there's plenty of sun, plenty of water, plenty of soil, a good place for them to grow. So they might float on the air, float in the water, or take another path to get to wherever they want to be. Some seeds are ancient. Not all seeds are eager to germinate. Some have lain dormant or slept undisturbed for more than 1,000 years. The oldest known seed to sprout came from an extinct date palm tree. After it was unearthed from a long ago king's mountaintop palace, a scientist planted it. 4 weeks later, it sprouted. Oh my goodness, even after all that time, it still sprouted. A seed is thirsty and hungry. Once a seed has shed its coat, it drinks in the rain and dew and yesterday's icicles. It feasts on minerals in the soil. Part of the seed, the root, feels the tug of gravity and digs down deep. So you can see the roots coming down into the soil. Another part of the seed, the shoot, is sensitive to light, and it reaches for the sun. So up, up, up it goes. A seed is clever. It knows how to seek the sunlight, to push itself up, up, up through the soil, but it must wait a while before that happens. Plants make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. Inside plant leaves are cells containing chemicals that absorb sunlight. Light gives them the energy they need to turn water and carbon dioxide, that's a gas in the air, into food. We've talked about that before, haven't we? Inside that leaf, it's making its own food. We can't do that. We have to eat food. But a plant can make its own food. How cool. A seed is sleepy, but only until it has found a place in the sun and has had its breakfast and a drink of water. Then a seed is awake. Wow, look what happens when a seed wakes up. Beautiful, beautiful sunflowers for your garden. And of course, here's some other beautiful things. So we're going to take a trip around the garden today to look at things that have come from seeds, to plant some things that I got at the garden store, but of course, somebody must have planted them from a seed somewhere. We're also going to look at some insects that have finally hatched. So you've seen this before, right? I showed you this a long time ago. Well, not this thing. This is a plastic model of the thing that I showed you a long time ago, weeks and weeks ago. But before it looked like that, when its mom laid it, it looked like this. So it was part of a branch on a tree, and the mom laid it, and it was a mass of eggs like that. Then when it dried, this is when we saw it, it looked like this. Well, in the garden, when things like that hang around for a few weeks, then all of a sudden, little things start to come out. Can you see those little things on that leaf? This is what was happening earlier today. Our egg case hatched, and out came a jillion. praying mantises. When they grow up, they'll be big like this. But right now, they're very, very small. And some of them are going to live in a box in our classroom and eat some fruit flies. But some of them went out to join the big, big world where they'll be able to find food and live out on the flowers in the garden and eat the things that would eat the garden plants. So they'll be out there in the garden being very, very happy little baby bugs and growing to be big like this. So let's take a trip out to the garden and see what we can see. So I bought some marigolds at the store this morning. These are just like the ones that we were growing in our classroom, in our flower pots. So I'm going to plant some right here in my garden. So I first have to start by making a hole in the dirt. So I'm making a hole right here in the dirt. There's a lot of roots down here, so I'm trying to be careful not to break any of them. Okay, so I have a nice hole. And then very carefully, again, I have to pull it out by its stem. And here you can see, here's all the roots for the marigold. Those are the parts that would hold the plant in the soil nice and firmly and suck up the water and nutrients that the plant needs. Here's the stem that goes up the middle of the plant that holds up the leaves. The leaves are the part that makes the sugar, the glucose for the plant. So the plant makes its own food. And here's that beautiful flower. And of course the flower is the part that makes new seeds so that we can have new marigolds. So I'm going to plant the roots right down in the soil like this. And then I'm going to push the dirt right down around those roots. So he's firmly in the soil. Just like that. And then push some mulch up around him. And there he is. We've got our lovely marigold in the ground and ready to have some water so it can grow in the sun here. Well, had the microphone been on, you would have heard me explaining how I'm going to plant this Dipladenia plant. Now, a Dipladenia plant would be a tropical plant, so I can't plant it in the ground at my house because in the wintertime it would die. It would be too cold for this plant. So I'm going to put it in this bucket here full of soil. So first I'm taking out some soil because there's a lot of roots down there that I have to make room for. Now I'm taking it by the stem again, and you can see all those lovely roots down there that soak up the water and nutrients and that hold the plant into the soil. So those have to go firmly into the soil so that they can hold up the plant. You can see the flowers, you can see the leaves. Remember, the leaves make food for the plant. And now that I've got it in the bucket, I have to put the dirt back in around those roots very carefully and tuck them in, kind of like tucking it into bed, and push it down so that it's all tucked in. There we go, a Dipladenia plant. So all over the ground here we have maple seeds that came from the maple tree right up there. And a maple seed is shaped like this. They have this wide part right here, and then they have the little seed down here. And when they come down out of the tree, people call them helicopters because they kind of twirl. Like that. They twirl on their way down, and that's so that they fly all over the place. Squirrels really love to eat maple seeds, so the squirrels have been kind of all over the garden eating maple seeds lately. Now, if you find one of these, you can pick off this part like that, and then you can pick open this part here and find the seed inside. And it's usually kind of greenish this time of year. There it is. And that is a little maple seed, and if you plant that in the ground, you would have a maple tree after a little while. But I think I'm going to feed the squirrels with this little maple seed. So Here you go, squirrels. We had a lot of fun in the garden today, didn't we? We had a lot of fun in the garden. Yes, we did. We saw plants, we saw animals. It was a lot of fun, and we got to plant some stuff too. So I hope you get to have some garden fun at your house too this summer. Won't that be fun? Plant some plants, grow some seeds, see what you can find in your garden. That's all we have for today. Have a good day, everyone.